Thank you for your attendance today, and I'd like to thank all my panelists today. It's an honor to invite them. Actually, I know Anson very long already. Anson is my schoolmates. Wow, but I think
1 year junior than her.
I look younger, right?
But I'm older than her anyway. Because of army service.
Army. So we are actually schoolmates. I started off as doing valuation. Likewise, Anson actually also did valuation. He joined IRAS, right? Inland Revenue, so property tax, etc. And thereafter, he moved to developers.
It was in 1996.
1996.
Pidamco land then, now it's Capital Land.
How many of you have ever heard about Pidamco land? This is actually the company before Capital Land, right? It's Pidamco Land plus DBS Land.
The merger of Pidamco Land and DBS Land.
Correct. Yeah. So I mean, I know him for very long. Anson is very strong in numbers. So has very strong sense of numbers. So it's a good opportunity to invite him here today. I want him to share with us a bit on the demand and supply kind of numbers. All right. So we have Jeffrey. Hi. Jeffrey is the encyclopedia to me. When we went for our discussion session, it's like, wow, he can rattle the projects from Upper Bukit Timah to Orchard. I said, can you go all the way to Punggol? So all the projects, he has been very familiar. So he is the go-to person that, has seen all the developers' projects launches over the years. All right, so it's good to hear from him as well. And of course, we got Wai Leong.
Hi everyone.
Hi everyone. Wai Leong is an architect background before he joined Hoi Hub.
Another life.
Huh?
That's one another life.
Another life, but I think better life, right? When he was an architect, we attended meeting together as consultant to the developers, and then I remember I give feedback. This one the layout not so good. How much like that? Then he stare at me. He don't smile like that. He stare at me. I like. Okay, I mean I need to sell, so I need to give you feedback. After that, the boss, the developer say, okay, Wai Leong, can you get it done tomorrow? 2:00 we got meeting. I like, wow. So he came.
Yeah, you make me stay overnight.
Yeah, he came the next day. Wow, his hair not as polished today. Then he worked overnight on it. I like, wow, architect more pioneer than us. All right, but I think I see his commitment in his work, the way he argued his design, thought through the design. I see in the meeting, I was very convinced. I actually bought something. I actually bought one of the project that he designed. I think more than 10 years. Just now I was asking him. I think the project was more than 10 years. I bought the unit there.
12 years ago.
12 years ago. So I bought a project that was designed by him. The design is good. Touch wood lah, no problem, no complaint. I no need to do much renovation, and the design is good. Rentability is there. In fact, I think 12 years my tenants back to back. I don't even have a gap of more than 1 month. Yeah. So in fact, the last tenant I have probably seen through the listing through the platform, and then wired the money through via UK to pay his deposit. So I think architect background is so very important to us in terms of the design. So we like to hear from him on some technical issues. And of course, we have Oliver.
Hi.
This is the hottest guy on Colchester video, man.
Thank you. Youngest and most handsome.
Youngest and most handsome. And then we were talking about, I need to do my hair just now. He said, yeah, he also need to. He's my latest friend, and we follow each other on LinkedIn. So I went in to look at his credential. I like, 天啊, the credential is so long. SAF scholar, pilot lah. I cannot imagine. Still can fly now, pilot.
Yeah, I still fly.
Pilot, first class honors, engineering degree, accounting, MSc real estate. Wow, piang, your name card very long or not? Oh, still got MBA. So your name card 3444. No need. Digitalized name card now. But I think it's good to have his insights, especially on the landed properties, Forte. All right. So without further ado, let me start the questions. I think first questions I have for everyone here is, of course, pandemic is over already. But do you see any difference in terms of from the developer's perspective? Today, what we want to do is to share things from the developer's perspective. Do you see any changes from the developer's perspective in terms of the market? Anyone want to start first? Anson?
Start first.
Yeah.
So post COVID, we see the trend of flight to quality and the flight to nature and green. So buyer wants to buy something that is have the intrinsic value to them, and also the value for being close to nature and greenery. So this is why UOL in bid for the Pine Tree Hill site when the government put out the land for sales in 2022. That is just right after the COVID. So the site is located in District 21, and it's just a stone throw to the Prime District 10 along Holland Road. And it is sitting on the elevated ground and with a vast greenery towards the Clementi Forest and Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. So, and yet it's being it has the easy access to the lifestyle amenities to Holland Village, Dempsey Hill, and Orchard Road. So what UOL sees is that this site actually give us the opportunity to create value, by adding on to the quality of the site that is already there. So be it we added this flower boulevard that is endowed together with the greenery on the site, or we actually the space between the three high-rise towers that we actually to ensure that almost all the units will have the landscaping and waterscaping within the development itself, or even a vast greenery beyond the site. So that's the so-called we look for value and we create value.
So what I can hear from you, the difference probably for the past 3-4 years is developers put more insights on the space, greenery, landscaping. I think we did a dream home survey aspiration. One of the factors that in the survey that people want is more landscaping, more greeneries at home. Probably nowadays people work from home. So, Pine Tree Hill, to me, I think it is that green space that you have applied into.
So we have 88% of the site footprint that we actually cater for the landscaping and the facilities there.
I see.
Yeah.
Any other post-pandemic that you have to take into consideration in terms of design or,
I think pandemic hit everyone very badly. None of us is immune to the effects, and it was one of the biggest things that happened in the past, don't know how many decades, right? For developers, we are no different. We also had to change a lot in the way we do things, the way we approach projects, acquire sites, complete the projects, and it affected developers very tremendously. I think one of the main thing is currently projects are getting more and more difficult to finance and complete. I think the biggest thing that everyone knows in the current market is inflation, right? Everyone talk about inflation the last how many years? Inflation so sticky, cannot come down. What does inflation means? Inflation means that everything is more expensive, which means all our construction even borrowing money is more expensive. Interest rate is at don't know how many decades high. So everything is more expensive. Construction more expensive, borrowing more expensive. Even trying to deliver material and goods. Singapore being some we don't have natural resources. Everything that we use in our construction has to be shipped from overseas, either by truck or by shipping. Everything is more expensive. I think we have done a survey, or we have studied the cost increase post-pandemic compared to pre-pandemic. The difference can be as much as 40 to 50%.
40 to 50.
Yeah, in the past, I think a lot of experts here, or even casual readers, they somehow they have a sense of what construction cost is like. Maybe for a mass market project, people can quote something like, what, per square feet, 200 plus?
Yeah, I think I remember High Park was about 210, 220 PS.
That's right.
Yes.
That's before pandemic.
Yes.
Nowadays, I think you can hardly find any projects that can be built, even the most basic project can be built below 400.
Can you give us a rough sense of what's the construction cost like now? So that when we do our seminars, we can...
Very hardly you can find below 400.
Very hardly 400.
Yes.
So that's
the
for mass.
degree of increase pre and post pandemic. So we have to always remind ourselves that we need to really bring value to the buyers by really being as efficient as possible and choosing or making the right choices in our product. I think one of the things, in terms of product, right, one of the things that a lot of buyers here always overlook, when you look at unit, or when you decide to buy condominium, what do you always look at? You only look at your own unit, correct? The unit that you are buying, the 4-bedroom, okay, 2-bedroom. I only look at the 2-bedroom. Wow, so good, so efficient and all that. But one thing that they seldom spend a lot of focus on are the common amenities. And that is also part of the things you're buying, because you're not just buying a condo, the unit itself, you're buying the landscaping, the gym, the clubhouse and all that. It may not factor much in your everyday life, but one day if touch wood, you have to be stuck in the condo for another 2 months, cannot come out, then you really appreciate, or you can go to a nice swimming pool, nice gym and all that. So for us, of course, besides just giving a good product in the unit, we also try and, for all the projects in Hoi Hub, we provide a very nice landscaping. We work with top architects, and we spend a lot of GFA, throw into facilities and gyms and big swimming pool. Recently, we just TOP Park Central, EC. Well, when the buyers go in, they say that, wow, the gym is as big as a commercial gym. I don't know whether that's good or real or not lah. But yeah, that's something that we want to give value to. There's one thing that is different, I think, pre and post pandemic. That's one thing that I think I can share besides all the products.
Yeah, I think after many months of living together, a lot of people can't stand their own family members. So what we observe in the market, if you look at 2021, 2022, there was a very huge spike in people buying landed houses. And as well as in condominiums, people looking for much bigger spaces. And I think a lot of the points they brought up about the high cost, people demanding more outdoor recreational areas. So some of these things we have observed in the market post-pandemic. Other things like the digitalization of the marketing process, people using apps to buy real estate, people using apps to manage their condo facilities. So some of this technology has also been implemented into some of these new developments that we see today. And I think moving forward, there will be more and more different innovative solutions that the developers will provide to home buyers.
Oh yes, I think I totally agree with you. The apps usage of apps for condo booking is probably more
Prevalent now.
prevalent now. Yeah.
I think for Far East wise, I think the pandemic have a definite profound impact on real estate market. I think in Far East organization, we are really focused in consumer centric, because like all the points are brought up by all the similar developers. I think cost control and finding the balance between needs and wants. So we put a lot of emphasis in designing in terms of the internal space, okay, in terms of efficiency. And I think a lot of homeowners are seeking into the flexibility in terms of the usage of the space. Right. I think in all per se, because I am like what Doris mentioned, I love real estate. So I started off in FEO for around 16 years. So I started off selling. So I'm in charge of a few projects. So I think in our recent launch this year, it was a land tender that we won in Hillview. But I think what's so unique about this site is that the surrounding green spaces, right? Because this is something through the pandemic. Even I myself, I used to like to cycle when I'm like studying. So I like mountain biking, I like cycling. But because of pandemic, I suddenly feel the desire to cycle. Then I go book a Brompton bike online. So I had to book in UK, use SingPost because pandemic. So it's that moment of time whereby you know that you really desire something. And within the home itself, the home becomes something that it's not just a place that after work I go home, I go shower, I go to my room. It becomes a space whereby I need a workstation, my kids, everyone will need somewhere to study. So I think the expectation from homeowners really is very different post and pre-pandemic. So I think it's a good shift in terms, but I think for all developers, we try to manage the cost. But I think importantly, we would also want to be very prudent in the way we design the product, because end of the day, it's the homeowners that will be maintaining and utilizing all the spaces that is created.
Jeffrey, do you agree that I think I saw nowadays the design got more study compared to maybe 3-4 years ago?
Okay, if you talk about study room, I think other than study room, the rooms that in Hugh Haven whereby we design is more in terms of a flexible space. And in all our study room in the development, it has natural ventilation. So why? Because in Fires itself, we take a lot of focus in terms of we design unit with natural ventilation and light. Because this is the two key important things for you to function. Be it when you rest, you want to focus, or you are spending family time. Even our 2+ study kitchen is enclosable with a gas hob. So I think these are very small touches that we put in the design element in the development. Because through the years, we hear a lot of wish lists from the customer. But it's during this pandemic itself, we really put in all these comments and wish lists from the consumer. Even my wife is the ultimate customer that I cannot close. I mean, because for her, like a lot of homeowners, there are certain criteria that, I need a yard. So in order to not waste the space of a yard space, we create a flexible space whereby it can be a study room, it can be a hobby room, it can be a work room, or you can use it as a laundry area in the evening when no one is using. So I think this is something whereby it has influenced some of our design. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. At the next questions I have, I think I see from article, government is releasing land sales. Okay, I will say that the government has increased the supply of land sales for 2024. Of course, I do see press report where they say oversupply. Government is flooding, 2024 with land sale. So what's your reaction as a developer when you read this or you hear this? Or is there things to explain?
Okay, the rent-up supply of 9,002 units through the government land sales confirmed list for the whole of 2024, to me, it's just a catch-up. Because given that in 2020 and 2021, the government only roll out about 2,000 units per year. And then 2022 and 2023 is about 7,000 per year on average. So if you look at the annual new home sales over the period from 2018 to 2023, the average number is about 9,000 per year. So if you ask me, I would say that the supply is just adequate. So I must say that the government is actually doing a very good job in terms of ensuring a stable property market by rolling out a steady and measured supply of land for residential units, and then and also that basically it will mean that the supply is just adequate for the market. Yeah.
Actually, I feel that the supply is controlled by the government. But so you look at the demand factors. What kind of demand factors we're looking at? Number of new people coming to Singapore. Anybody can guess how many new people came last year? The number is 280,000. How many new Singaporeans? 57,000 new Singaporeans. 200,000 new foreigners came into Singapore. So if you look at 57,000, the natural replacement rate for normal organic Singaporeans is 7,000 only. So that means 50,000 new Singapore citizens has joined the market looking for real estate. And if you talk about new citizens,
they tend to be younger family.
They tend to be older. I mean, the demographic that we looked at is 35 to 49. That's where the bulk of these new citizens are. So these are the people that are ready buyers, right? So this 57,000 new Singaporeans, they can buy new landed properties, for instance. And so this is what we observe in the market. And the natural growth of the population is about 20,000, 30,000 a year. And if you look at it, what is the number we'll look at in 2030? It's 6.6 million. What's the number you look at 2035? 7 million. So the population growth is very predictable. If you chart it, it looks like one straight line. As a government officer, every day down there, click the thing. That's my KPI. Hit my KPI, right? So the numbers. You can look at it yourself, right? And you determine what kind of population numbers are we getting. So we don't be afraid. The government say Paya Lebar Airbase can create 150,000 new homes, but if you look at the household size of 3, right? That's only 50,000 new family units, 450,000 new people coming to Singapore, and that is definitely achievable. And the government is not so stupid to do it all in one day, lah. They obviously take a lot of time to do it. So the amount of properties coming out definitely, the GLS coming out definitely, I feel is a bit on the slow side. If you look at freehold, for instance, the number of collective sale this year was like, I can't even remember. Can't even bother to look, right? So where are you going to get new freehold units next time? Next few years, where are you going to get new freehold units? You can't. There's no collective sale. The only way you get new freehold units is you buy privately, right? So for instance, the Hillshaw, Terra Hill, Continuum, all these are all freehold units that next few years, where are you going to find something similar, right? It's very difficult. So in a sense, those that prefer freehold versus leasehold, so there's something to consider next few years.
I also agree with Oliver and Anson. The numbers given by Doris just now was just the GLS. In the years prior, like what Oliver says, it has always, the supply of new homes has always been supplemented by a steady flow of en bloc developments or freehold developments, be it freehold or leasehold en bloc. But like what Oliver said, the current market condition does not really favor en bloc. That's why you read a lot of times in the newspaper, many old condos try and go en bloc 3 times, 4 times, and they always fail.
You're en bloc also, right?
The last 2 freehold projects we have, Hoi Hub, Sunway have, Continuum and Terra Hill, they are both en bloc. But that is I think it belongs to the last cycle already, and the next cycle on block, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I don't think anytime soon, because there is still a very big mismatch in pricing expectation between buyers and seller. Like I mentioned, all the difficulties that developer has in developing new condos have not been factored into the numbers by a lot of the free en bloc sellers. So they still expect a number that cannot be justified or cannot be sustained by today's market. So don't hold your breath for any more new en bloc or freehold projects in the near future. You won't see any or many of them in the next few years. That's why the GLS, I think one way is what the government did is to increase the GLS to at least bridge that difference.
I believe we have investors out here. It's always a question because en bloc, is a property to buy waiting for developer to buy over. So, like what you share is like for the next a couple of years, probably en bloc is probably not the way to go. So, for people out there, maybe you want to channel your funds to buy new homes or resale. In a way, if it's for own stay. Otherwise, you may want to channel your funds to new homes. But what's the pain point of why the developers is not buying en bloc?
Like I mentioned, there's a big mismatch between the
Price mismatch.
price
Expectation.
Yes, like what I mentioned, people still believe $200 can redevelop, or the
$200.
interest is still 0.5%. That is not true anymore.
I think it's the marketing agent. You need to update them to update the SPs, right?
Right? Some website I see online.
Yeah. I mean, the construction is still 200, right?
No. That's why we bring you here so that, Wai Long can clarify. Construction cost, I remember High Park was about 220. But now when we share, Wai Long share with us, the basic already 4+ PSF already. Even for...
I think you can't, in a way, you can't blame the en bloc sellers as well, because there is also a cost for them to replace their home.
Correct.
Like what Wai Leong says, that the reality is that the replacement home for the existing owner is, because they need to, if they sell en bloc, they need to buy. So, if they sell not at a premium, they can't buy. So the reality is that it is, going forward, it is very difficult to get 80% consent to go through en bloc. So not even the land is available for developer to buy en bloc actually. Yeah.
So it's more the expectation of the seller as well as what the developer need to. Because I think from what I hear from you all, I think during our meetings is compare a GLS land and an en bloc. I think for developer will go with the GLS because it's probably straightforward in terms of planning, building, no need to go strata title board if there is objection.
Yes, that's very true. We did face some difficulties in our development process for our 2 en bloc projects. There are more uncertainties involved in en bloc projects compared to GLS. GLS is very straightforward. The government already give you all the conditions that you have to comply with. As long as you comply with the conditions, you can quickly bring to market the product. But for en bloc, you face many different challenges that you won't face in GLS. For example, just one example, when you buy an en bloc project, you still have to deal with the seller after you sign the contract. One of our projects, the sellers ask for 10 months to stay on the en bloc site before they move out, which means that we have 10 months less time to build the project. Compared to GLS, basically you buy over an empty plot and you can start redevelopment immediately. So these are challenges that you won't find in a GLS. That's why developers tend to favor, even if 2 plots are the same, apple to apple, one is en bloc, one is GLS, everyone no question, no doubt, we'll go for the GLS.
Oh, interesting insight. So even the government release more sites. I think the developers
So if
still have
anyone
appetite.
here that is holding older development and thinking I can hold on for en bloc, I think
Can next cycle.
Especially
When
these
developer don't release, when the government don't release so much land, don't dampen them.
yeah.
Yeah, talking about this,
I
maybe
mean, it's time to sell and buy new one. Don't wait for en bloc.
yeah, because it's time to sell. Yeah, and then
Great.
upgrade to new homes, and then generally for older development, you probably have to spend more money doing renovation. The maintenance cost is also higher as well. So for new homes, generally for first 10 years, you don't have an issue. Talking about this, I think the terminology that keep popping out recently, harmonization. All right. I would like to direct this question to Wai Liao. Can you put it in share with us more harmonization? How does it implicate the developers? How does it implicate the buyers? How do we read the numbers? Every time we, sometimes consumer or buyers will ask us, what's the difference? What do you mean by harmonization?
I think a bit of context. I think a few months ago, I think half a year ago, the government push out these measures to harmonize GFA. I think a lot of people was wondering why is harmonized GFA. Is it like the house is very in harmony?
Harmony. Yes.
Why harmonize GFA? But to be a bit technical, when we design development in the past, before the house is very harmonized, before we
Actually, it's like, to me, the authority to harmonize, right?
before we have two kinds of area we have to deal with. The first area everyone knows is GFA, gross
Floor area.
So that is what we are allowed to build. The amount of area we are allowed to build. Okay, in just a very simple term, what area we are allowed to build in a plot. Then the second kind of area that we have to deal with is called the strata area. I think strata area is more important to the end user, the buyers. Strata area is what you are allowed to sell. So two different things, allowed to build, allowed to sell. In the past, allowed to build is not equal to allowed to sell. It's different. So it's not harmonized, not in harmony. So in the past, you can sell a little bit more than you can build. You'll be asking, why like that? How can I sell more than I can build? So you have to think of things like AC latch, the very common thing, AC latch.
Aircon latch, yeah.
Aircon latch, and things like double volume void. Double volume void, aircon latch, technically, it's not gross. It's not included in the GFA. The area you are allowed to build is exempted. It's sort of exempted, not counted in GFA, what you are allowed to build. But I don't know why you are allowed to sell.
I also don't know why. Since 1990s, when we do valuation, it's already like that.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the rules, because somebody has to take care of the aircon latch. It has to belong to someone. Someone has to be in charge of maintaining it. So in the past, the quick fix is you sell to the buyer. The buyer own it and the buyer maintain it. But then come this year, there come this event, they want to push out something called Connect X. I think Connect X, I won't bore everyone. It's just they want to digitalize everything in the construction submission process. So want to digitalize everything. Then they found that, oh no, the computer cannot handle so many numbers. How the architect submit something, one area, but then the developer want to sell another area. The computer get confused.
Not harmonized computer.
So I think one of the big problem now then was to solve this problem. How to make the area that you build same as the area that you sell. So in the end, they come up with the solution to harmonize the GFA, the area. So now anything,
Yeah, I thought
everything,
you call synchronize, not
Synchronize,
harmonize.
so now everything that we build, we can sell equals to the amount of area we can build. It's the same now. It's the same. So which means what? Things in the past that we are not allowed to, we are allowed to sell, but not in the area that we can build, has been taken out. We cannot sell that anymore. That's a simple explanation. We cannot sell AC latch anymore. We cannot sell double volume void anymore. We cannot sell curtain wall anymore. But to the end user, what you need to understand, or very important to the end user, is that the product that you buy essentially is the same. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. When you bought previously, it's a 3-bedroom, 100 square meter internal space, 100 square meter without counting the AC latch and the curtain wall. In the past, it's 100 meters square. Now you buy the same 3-bedroom after harmonization. It's still 100 meters square internal space, and it still comes with an AC latch and the curtain wall, just that it doesn't belong to you. You still enjoy the use of it, but it doesn't belong to you. End of the day, the product, what you get is essentially the same. All right? But then begs the question, a lot of people ask, is the PSF price higher or lower? Now, should it be higher or lower? So I think a lot of people here understand.
You got very good, clear explanation.
When you buy the same product, you worry about what? Not the PSF. What you should worry about is the quantum, because the quantum is how much you can afford, how much loan you can take, how much loan you have to service every month. That is the important number, quantum, and not PSF. PSF is just effect, a product of the quantum, right? The big quantum. I pay 1.5 million for before harmonization. If you're buying the same product today, shouldn't it be exactly the same 1.5 million? It should, right? Technically, before and after, it should be the same 1.5 million you're paying. But the problem now is the denominator, because PSF is quantum divided by area, right? Now the area is reduced. The amount of area you are buying has been reduced because of this definition change. So the denominator, primary school maths, I'm struggling with my PSLE girl. The denominator reduced. Should the result be higher or lower? Higher. So same amount divided by bigger number give a smaller number give you a bigger PSF. That's a simple change. So for the consumer, you just need to understand the quantum is the same. Just focus on the quantum. PSF can increase, but it's only on paper. What you are buying and what you are getting is the same. I hope I
Thanks.
made that
I see
clear.
many people nodding their head. Very good. Simplified way of addressing this harmonization.
As long as the quantum is the same, PSF can be higher, but it's just a result of this harmonization.
Okay, let's have something that is a bit different. After clear already, all I see people nodding head. We talk about, say, transformation. Jeffrey, you have been doing, you can rattle all the projects. Any transformation that you see or potential area?
I think in terms of transformation or growth area, we will not actually pinpoint to a location. I think in Singapore is only so big, or can say so small. I think most importantly, we'll be looking at the keyword is transformation. What leads transformation? Meaning something changed, right? So what is the key? So some items is fixed in a way. So there's something called rejuvenation. There's also something called urban redevelopment. So then there will be changes in terms of transportation and amenities. So I think all in all, if you are looking at a growth area and all these, homeowners or investor or potential purchaser, they'll be looking in which area has the upcoming transformation in terms of transportation, amenities, and also what is the natural backdrop. So I think something that is the characteristic of the property can't be changed, meaning it's beside nature reserves or within minutes walk to a certain mall. For example, recently we have a recent TOP project called One Holland Village, right? So this mall itself is a non-air conditioned mall, right? So I think in Singapore, weather and all this, but same thing during the pandemic, then we realized that actually natural ventilation has its USP because it has a natural circulation of the air, and in terms of the mall characteristic itself, it became a pet family mall. So I think for consumer itself, if you all want to look out for real estate and all this, always look out for what are the transformation and what are the natural amenities that's surrounding the real estate. Because natural reserve, parks and all this, there may be certain changes of the usage, but nature reserve and all this, there will not be any change most of the time. Right, yeah.
Maybe tonight you all can tune in to the rally and
Which
look for
area
more
you think
transformation.
You will say? Previously we know we had the Greater Southern Waterfront. So
More
maybe
transformation coming.
we guess where our Prime Minister will say which is the area that he will enhance.
Don't know Southern Waterfront. Tengah.
Right.
I think to add on to what Jeffrey say, how we always look for places or look at area of future growth and potential. For example, previously in Terra Hill, now the projects that we are actively marketing, we attracted to that location because of the Greater Southern Waterfront. I think for now it's still a lot of talks about the Greater Southern Waterfront, but our government, people of action.
People of action.
So when they put their mind to it, they really change, they really effect a lot of changes in the surrounding. For example, at Punggol, Bidadari, all this come about because of their vision. And I think Greater Southern Waterfront is one of their key development in the next few decades. That is why I think the advice is be first mover to get the first mover advantage. And I think, Oliver, you also have a project near
New Shaw.
Same reason, we bought it for the same reason.
Yeah, and Terra Hill. Yeah, there is I think we'll really capitalize on what the government will provide in the next few decades.
Why young?
For us also, Tengah, like you mentioned,
Yes.
we have two ECs coming out in Tengah area, which will optimize or capitalize not only in the Tengah redevelopment, but also it will harness the growth potential of the nearby Jurong Lake District and Jurong Innovation District. These are, I think, a lot of effort has been placed by the government as well. Besides Greater Southern Waterfront is the Jurong story. Next few decades, that area I think will be totally transformed into a bustling and very lively live, work, play district in the western part of Singapore. I truly believe in that. What can be done there?
Wai Leong, can give us a bit of insights on the two ECs?
One of them, Novo Place, the name is Novo Place, will be launching hopefully by end October or November, beginning of November. So those people planning to go for a December trip, maybe hold your horses a bit, wait for more news on the launch. It is situated right at the junction between Tengah and Jurong East. And it really is next to, I think, very few ECs in history is near MRT station. All those EC that is near MRT station, wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I remember.
I remember last time we had EC near to the MRT station that was announced is 100 pumps. Now 100 pumps buyer, how many hundreds per square feet? I don't know. You ask the agent.
Many hundreds.
Many hundreds per square feet in profit. But yeah, so the two ECs in Tengah will be near two MRT stations actually, and just a short walk to the Lake District. Very, very good sites. That's why we put all our not all put a lot of our chips on that.
Put all your chips in there. Hoi Hub got a lot of chips. Let's go to the extreme. Other than the EC, of course, Oliver here, we better ask him as much as we can about landed, which is the ultimate aspiration of all Singaporeans to own landed properties. What do you see, the differences in the market? We keep hearing the prices keep going up. Just now we asked you, what's your cheapest landed? You have 10 over million. So, is it out of reach, for the typical Singaporeans?
So I think you must understand who are the buyers that are buying landed. I think that there are a lot of high net worth individuals buying landed. And what we have observed in the last few years, where there are a lot of new citizens buying landed. So much so that I have to send my team for Mandarin speaking classes. And that's a reality on the ground. And the trend right now is that landed, you're getting more value. You're paying less for the space. For instance, in District 10 or 11, you're paying about 1,200 to 1,600 per square foot of space. But each landed house is huge. It's like maybe 10,000 square feet, 12,000 square feet in size. And I think that kind of buyer is totally, it's a different type of buyer. And also what we observe...
Like you
No lah. what we observe in terms of affordability, so when we track the income growth of the top 10% of Singapore, and we plot it together with the PPI for landed, we notice that the gap is actually narrowing, which means the property prices are now a lot higher than what it was compared to maybe 3-4 years ago in relation to someone's income in the top 10% bracket. So it's true, landed prices has gone up, but at the same time, who are buying landed? The high net worth, and do they need to take loan? A lot of them don't take loan. A lot of the landed transactions in the market are actually not caveated. A lot of people do not know that, but there's a lot of transactions in the market. There are also a lot of people building their own homes. But if you think building your own home is an easy way to do it, maybe think twice. I suggest you all think twice, because buying from a developer, at least you can see the plans. The developer is putting the thought into that entire process. They're able to command a lot in terms of price, in terms of price of the appliances, in terms of the build costs, much better than the end user, because the end user is a one-time job for the builder. The developer is maybe a 10 times per year kind of job. So a lot cheaper for the developer, even though we pay that extra 5% in ABSD. A lot of times, you also take a lot of your time from your work, and then maybe the family start to argue and all that. But when you see a developer unit, we present you the floor plan. We can do minor amendment here and there, but at least it's something that you can look at. But it's very hard to predict who the buyers, it's very hard to build something for a buyer's taste. Sometimes I build a swimming pool, then they ask me why you build swimming pool. Well, sometimes no swimming pool, they ask me why you don't build swimming pool. And then I remember last time we had to remove so many bathtub from the house because they don't want bathtub. And then I have to try and give it away, So it's very difficult to pinpoint, but at least you buy from a developer, you can still have that flexibility to amend the plans, do a bit of changes here and there. We can still accommodate. Yeah.
But to add on, I think, like what Oliver said, these are the high net worth. But for people like me or...
You also high net worth.
like us. I don't want to say you. What we can aspire to, maybe what we have, the alternative, good, nicely designed condominiums.
Designed by you.
Last time. So the alternative, I think, is still there. If you really want a good, beautiful home, is may not be a landed, because I always get asked this question. If you are at a certain level, must I always buy landed? But if you are not the high net worth, getting a 10,000 square feet house,
10 million.
$10 million worth, the alternative, maybe you can check it out, large format 4-plate homes that actually a lot of the developers are doing. For us, we have Terra Hill and Continental, the one in Pasir Panjang, one in District 15. Besides the normal 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, we also came out with this different class called Prestige Collection, that is like 4-bedroom, 1,900 square feet, large format on one floor plate. I think it's a very good alternative to say a 5 million inter-terrace. I always get asked this question, why not inter-terrace? But I don't want to bore you now, but I think there is a good reason why people go for a large format, freehold, 1,900, 2,000 square feet home compared to inter-terrace. You get condo facilities, you get security, you get a location that may be much better than a $5 million inter-terrace, because a $5 million inter-terrace may not be near school, may not be near MRT, may not be near the city. You have to travel very far. So there are a lot of reasons why someone will not choose a inter-terrace compared to a nice 1,009 square feet, 2,000 square feet 4-bedder.
Yeah, talking about large format units, I think this is evident by our launch of our Waterfront house, where we bought the site in 2021. Then we see that there's an untapped demand for people who want a big, large floor-plate units. So we did the private preview in November last year, and we sold close to 60%. And all our 8 penthouses are all sold. And our big 4-bedroom and 5-bedroom, now we only left with 4 units each. So we are 85% sold now. So coming to that, we are also UOL going to unveil the Mayor House.
Mayor Blue.
Yeah.
Mayor House will also be about a year.
Mayor Blue, we through a private preview again in next month. So Mayor Blue, all of you know that is along East Coast at Mayor Road. And do you know that along Mayor Road, there's only 12 plots of land for high-rise development that's facing the sea. And this plot of land is possibly will be the last new waterfront housing along this Mayor Road, given that we talk about the challenge of being en bloc. So in the next 5-10 years, you won't see any new development along this stretch. So
Anyway, no more en bloc.
so watch out for our private preview for Mayor House.
Well, if any of the participants today, if you are interested in any of the project that they mentioned, do reach out to our ERA trusted advisor. They'll be able to assist you to give you more info. But Anson, you are also launching one top of the town project called what? Parktown.
Parktown Residence.
Yes.
Okay, I will not disclose too much, but okay, we are target to launch a Parktown Residence in first quarter next year.
Okay, so if our agents here should concentrate whatever that is launching this year, right?
Okay, if you want to launch any projects that are launching within these few months, you concentrate on your efforts over there. But don't forget, keep trying to get your leads along the way for Parktown. And Parktown Residence will be one of the largest integrated development that comprise 1,195 residential units, which is I would say, of so-called so far the integrated project is the
1195.
largest residential component.
1195 units.
1195 units. And with a retail mall, it's called Parktown Tampines.
Parktown Tampines.
So this will be integrated with a bus interchange, the upcoming Tampines North MRT station on the Cross Island Line, hawker center, a community club, and also a green boulevard, which is a green spine linking the park spaces in Tampines and the Tampines Regional Center. So this is going to be a very exciting project for us together with our partner, CapitaLand.
Wow, yeah. Interesting. Huh? I think we are running out of time. One final advice for our aspiring home buyers here from all of you.
Okay, I start first. Okay, for buyers who buy for owner occupation, I think buying the right homes is more important than you trying to buy a property at its cheapest price point. Okay, so if you see any property that is of your liking and you are buying for your own occupation, please proceed and buy. Don't try to catch the lowest price point, because if you get to enjoy the property, if you are happy, your wife is also happy. And then over the long-term period in Singapore, your property should appreciate in value.
Wow, answer a lot of advice here. Happy wife, happy life. Timing in time in the market is better than timing the property. Jeffrey?
I think for all homeowners, I think you agree with Anson, you can't catch the right timing. But do your own acid test, find out what is your present affordability, and you'll see something slightly below it. And yeah, I think buy something that you are financially comfortable, and as a family, when you are using, everybody, you can't please everyone, but you must feel good in the place, right? So yeah.
Affordability, acid test, must feel good.
For me, I think not much advice I can give. Just that if you are looking for a home, I always tell my friends, better not wait lah. Better not wait to buy. What they say?
Yeah,
Buy and wait, because Singapore property is, from history you can tell, for the last 30, 40 years, if you have bought anything anytime in the last 30, 40 years, you won't regret. So in the long term, especially if you are buying freehold, yeah, you can buy anytime.
Chinese they say 早知道, Hokkien they say 早知, right?
有早知就
Yeah, Cantonese. Yeah, so I think important is buy, when you are ready.
Yeah, last one. So I think just remember the numbers I gave you earlier, the population numbers, so that drives your demand. Second, something I forgot to bring up was that according to MAS, the current household deposit is 620 billion. Compared to pre-COVID, Q1 2020 is 490 billion. But during the same period, mortgage loans only increased 27 billion. What this means is that actually Singaporeans are very cash rich. And guess what they're waiting for before they start to buy? Interest rates. And I think we are more certain than the last few years that interest rates are going to fall this year at least. How much, I don't know. But would you rather buy when people start coming into the market, or would you rather buy now when the developers are throwing in a lot of attractive freebies? So think about it. Look at the numbers. You can look at all these numbers available in the public domain, and then you make your own assessment. Okay, that's all.
Thanks, Oliver. Oliver says bye, bye, bye. Thank you.